Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity on behalf of StarCastTV. Bottom left hand corner, we have Sharp starting as the Teal Terran. Upper right hand corner, we have one of the 6 dragons himself, Best, starting as the Blue Protoss. This is on Hidden Track, which I haven't seen in a while, so I'll go ahead and do the map reveal from ASL Season 11, as I think when I saw it recently. So it's got the Zerg eggs, of course, on the front. Pretty sizable, wide open natural expansion, but this is why it's Hidden Track, because you've got these lanes to the south, and let me go ahead and zoom back out so you can kind of see where they lead. They kind of lead around the exterior of the map. And you do have kind of, and this is kind of an interesting feature where you've got these interior bases at the cardinal directions, obviously the center of the map, which people typically don't take. But, so basically, you've got the outside rung, which is the track, in quotes, and then you have the center of the map, which can lead to various other locations. So there's kind of 3-pronged directions you can come at from the middle. So you really, being able to figure out where your opponent's at can be a pain. And so Zealots sneaking by or other troops sneaking by. The one thing is I feel like there are solid angles for siege tanks and whatever not to go ahead and just continue to seal. Just like pummel into the natural expansion. So we'll see how it plays out. Gateway first here for Sharp rather than a 12 Nexus or anything along those lines. Sharp initially building that supply depot along the edge. Between the two of these guys though, I love Best, but Sharp I just think is in better shape these days. So I am expecting him to be able to... He's just... I hate to make this pun. He's playing Sharp lately, and I'm sure I'm not the first, nor will I be the last one to ever make that terrible, terrible pun. Refinery going ahead and tacking on as well. We'll see if he opts for just a standard Rax expansion, or if he is planning on going for early 2 Rax aggression, something along those lines. The Assimilator being grabbed. So it looks like it is not going to be initial 2-gate pressure. We are seeing the Cybernetics core. So we'll see if it is a skipped Zealot right off the bat. I have a feeling it's going to be a skipped Zealot right off the bat. SCV is going to scout that upper left-hand corner first. And I believe... So this is one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm not sure what the timing is between expansion to expansion on this map. One advantage I'm going to have to say to like push back against Terran pressure is at cross-map positions... And also just having, if Best can just stay on top of his troop movement, there are a lot of ways to just get surrounds on potential mech movements. But the thing is you got to be really Johnny on the spot. Been saying that a lot recently, I don't know why. SCV making its way across. You got to really stay on top of where your opponent's troops are. That's kind of the trick of it. So observers could be really, really critical. And knocking down observers comparatively for Sharp. Sharp looks like he's going to scout top left and unfortunately get the last scout going bottom right. Does have that initial factory being built, only a single SCV on gas, so it looks like he's just going to go factory into expansion. Probably grab that machine shop first. First Dragoon going to be produced, range on the way, so Best not opting to do the range skip and going to move that Dragoon forward. One thing is it is challenging because you don't know what angle that SCV is coming from, so that SCV I believe will be able to confirm the Nexus that is coming online for Best right here, with just that single Dragoon in play. Probe starting to make its way out. I do want to note that this is a very late scout from Best, so this is what, on the 22nd probe, he's finally moving his probe out. SCV making its way across, and again, yeah, I think that, well, the SCV's been spotted, so let's see if this Dragoon is able to get the blockade. Oh man, actually, Sharp realizing he'd lose the SCV, so the probe finding that SCV scout, allowing Best to actually critically push that away. There is a Vulture follow-up. So one, base location's confirmed, but also secondarily, Best knows that is a Vulture opener. That is one thing. This is a wide open choke. So it's going to be a challenge to defend this, and that looks like this might come from 2 angles as well. Command center being constructed, bunker also coming online, and that's necessary because right now Sharp has no idea. It looks like an engineering bay as well. Just in case. There is just 1 gate robo behind this, second gateway being tacked on. SCV sliding in from the north, gets wiped out. The yeah, right now, just a complete... So Sharp holding the Vulture back to maybe catch a probe that was moving its way out again. But no additional probe has been sent by Best. I think, again, confirming that Vulture and the timing of it. So he's happy to just sit back, get observers out. I think get observers out in the field, see what Sharp's maneuvers are, whether he's going to go for more of a mid-game 2 factory, 2 machine shop, or 3 factory, or something along those lines, and try to play it from there. Missile turrets being plopped down to respect potential DT play. And I say that, but okay, yeah, there's the observatory. That would have been, my face would have felt a little bit red if he decided to open up Robo instead. I do want to say it does feel like if Terran want to play economically aggressive, even though the thirds are somewhat distanced away, it might not be all that, especially if you play that vulture style where you just build a bunch of vultures, start careening them because they just can skate all over this map. Just push out, run absolutely everywhere. It looks like already a mine being sent at what would have potentially been a third base. So maybe, yeah, play economically or potentially even grab a third while using vultures to kind of cover. Second factory being plopped. We have single machine shop and a couple siege tanks being built. Anticipation, siege tank kind of remaining in no man's land and anticipation of, again, potential drops and whatnot. First observer being produced. The observer going to make its way to the north. It looks like Best does want to just play initial 3-base style, taking out that mine. But this is where, yeah, he needs to keep these dragoons nearby to protect that probe, because that vulture could have, you know, sidled down and snuck in between. But I like what Best is doing. He's already starting to try to close down these lanes a little bit. You can see the dragoons sweeping to the middle. The mines have been planted, which I almost feel like vultures are playing ninja game in this, right? It's like, you know, or James Bond 007. There's pylons on the way, a single dragoon to blockade. But just because that arena is blocked doesn't mean that that vulture can't swing its way around and find another location to go and be aggressive and be annoying. Bunker has 3 Marines in the front, some siege tanks grouping up to potentially engage. It looks like that observer is going to see those siege tanks. I don't think siege tech has been upgraded yet. Yeah, siege tech about halfway finished. Best's not really in a position because he needed... Oh, observer just sneaks out of there because he needed to play very defensively. And that vulture's still sneaking its way around. Yeah. Getting a lot of value, honestly, just in the latent pressure, just being out there lurking. Initial comsat dropped by Sharp. It looks like the Dragoon's going to go ahead and clear that mine. 2 additional gateways to add to the 2 that were already there. And it looks like Best, hoping to play Gateway Man, has dropped a Citadel of Adun in the upper left-hand corner, which usually when I see this, I think, okay, is he going to make a quick, sneaky swap to gateways and go for a quick Arbiter play off 3 base? But, I mean, usually you see that with 2 base Arbiter. He's already got his 3rd base up in line. Probes moving their way across, and actually, I gotta say, yeah, Best doing a pretty good job having protective lines to go ahead and defend that. 5 factories being tacked on for Sharp, so it looks like he does want to go for some sort of aggression here. That will likely be in about 2 minutes. Moving the vultures around, but I don't see an armory. Let's see if it's... Nope, not hidden behind there this time. So no +1 weapons. Going to be alongside, so it's just going to be pure factories. Vulture speed and siege tanks to potentially bust the front. And we'll see if Best is in a position to deal with it. He might get caught. Yeah, as he's going for a tech switch, he's dropping all sorts of tech right now. So depending on how speedy Sharp is about this push, he might catch Best as he was gearing up and might just hit the perfect timing where none of this catches online. But if he's too slow with it, Sharp could just devastate him as he's making the move out. So the Dragoons need to buy some time here. Siege tanks on the move. Already pressing forward. The Observer's trailing the lot of this. And right now, I think Best has what? A control group of Dragoons and a lot of territory to defend. He needs to somehow defend that inside 12 o'clock location and keep his natural expansion from just getting flat out sieged from multiple directions. Dragoons already dying. Some mines being planted on the rear. Well, 1 mine being planted on the rear flank. Some of these vultures are losing their lives as this is trailing. The Dragoons trying to peel out to maybe create a pincer situation from the left-hand side. Sharp, however, hunting down and surrounding the Dragoons. So mines at a distance. And the Observer has gotten separated away from this. So these Dragoons, even though they've skated around, Sharp hunting them down might be able to wipe them out. But this is so even though these Dragoons are going to lose their lives in this corner, this is buying time for Sharp to build overwhelming troops on his front, potentially, to push this back. So Sharp wipes that out, and now is just going to make a beeline to that 12 o'clock base, a single cannon drop. Best doing his best to move his troops to engage at that location, but you can see where they siege along, if tanks can siege along that northern, what do I want to call this, the western ridge. it's going to be difficult to defend. So Best trying to deal with the architecture of Hidden Track, get in position to deal with this, and he needs to be careful because if he overcommits troops to the defense to the north, could end up losing troops and getting pinned right as natural expansion. However, the Zealot's able to get right on top of the siege tanks, walk right in and obliterate this attack force. And keep in mind, there was no armory behind this. So Best able to wipe that attack force out, just walking troops all the way around. Vultures remaining, not a lot, and that was like a kind of a zero defense. He's going to end up practically resetting troops with what's left. There's still 5 factories pumping. There's 2 machine shops along this, but Sharp now maybe needs to reevaluate that plan. It looks like he has dropped a command center, realizing he's not going to get a lot out of this, but Best has defended, still has a 15 supply lead. Arbiter's now taking the field. Recall also there. It's going to be a while before the energy is in place to make it happen. But Best, if he can plug that gap and keep these probes online, maybe another cannon would be in order. Some Zealots marching that direction. Actually, maybe just staging this Arbiter to the north. Yeah, 3 cannons here. That might help out a lot. But now the problem for Sharp is Best has enough of an economy, he can just start rolling ahead. And so grabbing the space on the low ground, defending that, and somehow slowing down Best from being all over the map and just shutting him down is going to be a challenge. So the initial gambit not paying off. Near 40 supply lead for Best in that turnaround because all of this architecture now kicking online. And the Arbiters starting to flow. Mines being planted to maybe get some disruption. Ooh, getting some good value there. Mines have been covering this upper left-hand base. We do have mines in the bottom right-hand base to keep those out of Best's hands briefly. Science facility being built. Command center floating its way across to maybe grab this third. Did I just miss this army earlier? I think I might have. +1 weapons now online. So take back those bad commentaries. I believe the armory was right there, and it was... I'm going to assume +1 weapons finished the 9:30 mark. You guys can catch me on that or not. Anyway, 6 o'clock location going to be grabbed by Sharp. Just mines to defend. Best, however, fielding a lot of troops. 50 supply lead right now. Observers moving across the way to go ahead and see the mine placement. Going to hold. Single Vulture, yeah, able to sneak through. Not able to stop that probe from getting that, but it looks like was able to kill the probe with the follow-up. Sharp spreading the troops out to go ahead and defend this northern corridor. Or sorry, this, this northern, what am I going to call this? The diagonal? Zealots marching in. Goliath there to push that Arbiter back. A big stasis drop on that southern ramp, allowing the Zealots to get all the way in the natural expansion. Best careening the troops in. Arbiter covering the way. So that's forcing Comsat out because there's no science vessels out in the air yet. So natural expansion potentially breached. Sharp still transferring SCVs to that 6 o'clock while this is happening, while the natural expansion group prepare on that bunker to try to keep this alive. One advantage for Sharp here is this is at cross position, so it's going to take a really long time for reinforcements to get here to seal the deal. And there may be enough factories in production here to go ahead and push this back, but a lot of SCVs losing their lives in between this. It looks like some of them bringing some minerals back. That should give a big indicator to Best that, hey, there's another base up somewhere out there, but Sharp not gonna, just gonna call it right there, which is the wise decision. Best with too much right there in the natural expansion. Arbiters in the air, more stasis to come. Doesn't have enough to push it back, and Best able to get this is gonna be what, up 4 bases to 3. Well played, top to bottom by Best, I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed it on an interesting map. Thanks for listening.